on the Widnes Vikings for the right to take home the Northern Rail Cup. Wilfield Road, the latest of the Premier League venues, of course, from August and beyond, where Blackpool will be tangling with Man United, Liverpool, Arsenal, Chelsea and company. Today it's all about rugby league though, and it's Batley and Widnes tangling in this final. And let's take a check on the way the two sides lined up. First of all, the Batley Bulldogs. Last week they beat Barrow 34-18 to end a run of successive defeats since their semi-final win over Lee. And this is the way they go here today. Campbell is their fullback, then it's Brown, Toohey, Morn and Greenwood, with Hanforth the skipper and Moore. On the bench it's Smith, Lythe, Hesketh, John Gallagher, Walton and Ash Lindsay. And the bench occupied by Tommy Gallagher, who got 4 tries in that win last week, Tootill, Martin and Mick Gobbin. The coach is Carl Harrison. Now for the Widnes Vikings, and Paddy Flynn's at fullback, then it's Ainscough, Gardner, Grady and Gaskell, Thackeray and Coyle. Up front, Gannon, Netherton, Haggerty, Doran, Allen, who's the skipper, and Gerrard. And the bench, it's Pickersgill, Mark Smith, Kavanagh and Davis. The coach is Paul Cullen. Widnes scraped home against Shrewsbury 27-26. They won at Whitehaven the previous week. Steve O'Connor, the chairman of the Widnes Vikings, hoping that his team can go 3 in a row victorious for the first time since March. It's a great occasion, this. It's the day that the championship clubs really do have their day in the sun, and let's hope that the rain stays off for what should be a really attractive final. Batley in the red and white stripes and Widnes in their changed jerseys. Let's go up to the commentary box as the teams emerge from the dressing rooms. Barry and Terry are alongside Bill Arthur.
Thanks, Eddie. Yes, a big day for these supporters as well. The Widnes Vikings a little bit blasé about all this, having been here last season and won, of course, and before that in 2007, but 8, the Batley Bulldogs. This is something new for them. Not since 1952 have they been to such a prestigious occasion, and the Batley supporters outnumbered 2-1, I suspect, here today, but in good voice, and their supporters have come from all over the country and all over the world. In actual fact, news of supporters coming from Australia, Colombia, even in South America. Robert Hicks, not travelled that far, but he's here to referee this afternoon's game, a big honour for him as well. And it'll be the Widnes Vikings who'll get us underway. The Vikings then looking to retain the Northern Rail Cup. They won it last season, beating the Barrow Raiders in the final, and immediately going for a short kick-off, hanging in the air, and the ball is going to come up for the Dogs. But more through luck than judgment, I think, there. Maybe an indication early on of the attitude that the Widnes Vikings might be adopting this afternoon, because you look at this Vikings lineup and it certainly looks power-packed. Jim Gannon out there making the first hit. Who else? His 300th appearance in the British game. There's the kick-off, and it very nearly came up for the Vikings. But Gannon, 300 appearances since he came over here from the Balmain club, and it's a big game for him. And Hanforth with the kick.
Just going back to that kick-off, Bill, I do feel that this pitch, I think it's maybe just over 90 metres in length. The kicking games of both teams will be so important, and so will the kick returns.
Flynn, always a threat, bringing that ball back. And here's Grady now. Shane Grady got the match winner for the Widnes Vikings in their narrow win last week against Shrewsbury. There is Jim Gannon. Let's hope he gets further in this game than he did last year. Sin-binned after just 6 minutes, Jim Gannon was. Here's Lee Duran. That's a good run from him up to the 40-metre line for the Widnes Vikings. And 4 tackles gone for them. Chris Gerrard now. That's the 5th. And Thackeray receives and hoists the ball, the first high one of the afternoon. Campbell comes for it, claims it keenly and takes it in one movement, and they were offside from the kick anyway, were the Vikings.
Well, Robert Hicks was shouting, "You're offside." You can see Dave Allen just in front of him to the right of the kicker. Had to leave Johnny Campbell as the penalty. You can't give penalties where Harry's already mentioned the length of this pitch. And you can see from that penalty now Batley are attacking in Widnes' half.
The width as well, as Rod was mentioning earlier on, 4 metres shaved off it because of the building work here. Of course, a Premier League season looming for the Blackpool Football Club. Fulham due here at the first home game at the end of August. Here is Hanford, though, for the Batley Bulldogs. Widnes and Batley christening this brand new pitch here at Bloomfield Road, just laid 6 weeks ago. And the ground staff confident that it'll hold up well. They're very complimentary about the rugby league guys. In fact, talking to them beforehand, they said they won't do them as much damage as rugby union players do. They're not as lumbering, heavy-footed. Here are the Bulldogs on the attack. Here's Morn. Always a threat is Danny Morn. A couple of tries in the semi-final. Now then, Gareth Moore. Moore's kick ricochets. And Robert Hicks says there was a knock on there from the Vikings. Gannon could have been pinned as he threw that ball away.
I think there was a knock-on on a Widnes player. Tried to get his hands to the ball. Here's the kick.
No, he's
hits Jim Gannon, yeah, and it hits.
He's kicked the ball, it's come off Jim Gannon, and Chris Gerrard's accidentally stood in an offside position.
Come on, Danny, get in.
Batley get head and feed.
Here is Hanford. Hanford is through, gets the pass away. They are in for the first try, and it's Jason Walton who claims it. And the Widnes supporters at that end of the ground, shell-shocked by the sight of Batley Bulldogs getting the first points of this game. And it's Walton getting his 10th try of the season to finish off that move. But it was the danger man, the captain of the side, Paul Hanford, who made the first break in that Widnes defence, and Walton was there to finish off.
And Batley, I told you about the kicking game, said how important it would be. You can't afford to make mistakes as Widnes did on that occasion. But this shows you the value of push-through. Jason Walton is just on the outside, he's on the right shoulder at first of Paul Hanford. Adjusts his run, he beats people out of the way. He knows that once Paul Hanford makes that ball available, if he's in the right position, he'll offload. And that's Batley's first point, the perfect start for the Batley Bulldogs.
Gareth Moore will attempt to increase this early points tally. Moore a doubt ahead of this game with a shoulder problem, real concern that he wouldn't be able to play. He's out there, he's landed 2 points, and the Batley Bulldogs have got the start they so much needed, because a big game for them, a lot of nerves in their camp. They need to settle down, and that'll do them a power of good.
Carl Harrison will be very happy with that. You can just see that Paddy Flynn just goes too far. He's expecting Tiger Hanford to pass that ball. You've got to defend the threat, and the threat is the ball.
Ash Lindsay underneath that. Haggerty came in high there. Duran finishes off the little loose forward for the Batley Bulldogs. Gareth Haggerty out there for Widnes, and that's a bold move from the Vikings coaching team. Haggerty only just back from a knee problem. There he is, the former Harlequins man. Alex Brown now for the Batley Bulldogs. Byron Smith, Gannon cannons into him, but Smith recovers.
That's a great shot from Jim Gannon. Needs to keep contact though and control that tackle.
Flynn claims the ball straight into his arms, and again makes good yards to bring it back.
Just look at the line speed here. He still manages to win the tackle, does Byron Smith. Situations like that say it a lot. Just take your licks, get down and play your ball, and Jim Gannon trying to assert himself into this game.
Gaskell doing well to get the ball away to his opposite number, Sean Ainscote. And Ainscote tackled just inside his own half. 3 tackles gone. Here is Jim Gannon once more at the forefront, as usual, for the Widnes Vikings. Netherton. Here is Thackeray now. Thackeray with a little kick over the top into the corner. It's a good one. Just a bit too strong, and Campbell able to watch that one go dead. But this grass is very lush. And the ball just holding up a little bit there.
And that was a very specific kick, Bill. It was probably about 12 inches too long. He wanted it to hold in the pockets and make Batley work away from that corner. then they can compress the defence, and Widnes again can pressurise the Batley attack.
3 tackles gone. That wasn't a play the ball from John Gallagher. That was like an American football snap.
Johnny Gallagher just loses control.
He's got the penalty. Interference is the verdict from referee Hicks.
I'm not sure about the penalty for interference. He's standing up to play that ball and just loses it.
Lucky to get away with that with the Batley Bulldogs. That's high on Hesketh.
Right, well, this will be interesting. Will they go for 2 points, or will they try and keep the pressure on? Well, the pressure's on.
Question answered. Here is Byron Smith now. And they're bang in front of those Widnes posts with Lindsay. Lindsay just driving it in to the chest of Kirk Netherton. Only knows one way to go, Ashley Lindsay, and that's straight into the middle. And they're in again, and it's Hesketh with the try, and Batley have struck again. The Widnes supporters furious because that stems from that penalty awarded against the Widnes Vikings. And somebody has said something in Batley. Carl Harrison, inscrutable, the Batley Bulldogs coach. But the bottom line of it is that Sean Hesketh, the man in the shot there, has scored another try for the Batley Bulldogs. They're 10-0 up here. The kick to come, and surely another 2 points, because it's virtually in front of those posts for Gareth Moore.
Well, let's have another look at this penalty from John Gallagher. I'm with you, Tez. I don't think there's much interference, but you can't give possession and position to Batley.
The rain is lashing down here. Sean Hesketh scored in the quarter-final. He scored in the semi-final victory at Lee. He's scored in the final now.
That play is used by St Helens a lot. They isolate the posts.
As Moore adds 2 more points, the caution from the referee for Sean Hesketh was just celebrating a bit too strongly in front of the Widnes supporters.
That is Sean Hesketh's trademark try. He scored a couple of tries against Widnes. You can see that Dave Allen plants his feet. He has no idea where Sean Hesketh is. Sean Hesketh happy with that effort. But you can trace this back. The first penalty that Widnes give away led to the first try, and then the penalty in that set of 6 leading up to it led to that try. On a short pitch, you've got to be disciplined.
Byron Smith now, so the Bulldogs with their tails well and truly up after this start. The Vikings have to go back to the drawing board. Paul Cullen, good to see him here today. Been on compassionate leave lately to deal with family problems, but able to make it here today. Here is Ashley Lindsay, although won't have enjoyed the start that his side have made here today. They've hardly been able to touch the ball in the Batley half. Hanforth steps away from the marauding Gannon and puts a good kick in. And Flynn is going to have to return that. And Walton is waiting for him, and Walton gets a hold of him.
Well, there's that kick again, trying to kick it into the pockets, compress the defence. And Sean Ainscough does a fantastic job of getting his team out.
Lindsay could have been penalised there for a flop. Here is Flynn once more. But if there was any complacency in the Widnes ranks, I'm sure there wasn't. But certainly they're under no illusions now about the challenge they face. Ben Davies on the field already as that kick is fielded by Campbell, and the Batley supporters want their fullback to run this ball back, and we saw him do that to devastating effect in the semi-final against Lee, launching Batley on an attack which led to a try. He is a very dangerous runner, is Campbell.
And Ben Davies has come onto the pitch in place of Gareth Haggerty, who needs to be spelled. He's a big fella, very explosive, and he will do some damage, but it's not the right part of this game to be wasting and burning up all that energy while his team's defending.
I'm quite surprised Widnes haven't yet attacked Gareth Moore. He's not made any tackles in this game. He's coming back from a shoulder injury, and there was doubts whether he'd made the season. Clever kick from Batley.
It's a great kick from Hanforth.
More pressure, more pressure. You can see Leader Am putting pressure on. Well, that's Tiger Hanforth's game. Good, clever kick. Again, putting pressure on this Widnes side, asking them to bring the ball back from their own try line. But Hanford, Moore, coming back into the Batley side, have yet still to tackle the Widnes big men.
Long way to go in this game. Gardner leaves Danny Moore on his deck. On the deck, here is Flynn. That looked high. It's Byron Smith. Here is Gaskell again. Dean Gaskell, fourth final for him, equaling John Duffy's tally. There is the penalty. Hesketh is penalised.
Well, Dean Gaskell comes in from the wing, chews up an awful lot of yardage. Again, urgency to get up and play the ball. Sean Hesketh just wouldn't let Dean Gaskell play that ball. So strong for a wingman, Dean Gaskell.
Now then, this is probably the best opportunity Widnes have had so far to put a bit of pressure on the Batley Bulldogs defence, but we saw the Bulldogs defence in pretty awesome shape against Lee in the semi-final, withstood a battering in that game. They might have to do a bit of work this afternoon now that they've got the Vikings riled, and Gerrard almost away from the challenge of Walton. Netherton now. Here is Coyle. Coyle gets the ball wide to Thackeray. Allen's had the ball stolen from him by Gareth Moore. That'll be a penalty. There were two in the tackle. And Carl Harrison says, you can't expect to get away with that.
Well, there was two in the tackle, and they were also offside. Gareth Moore, you can see pinching the ball from Dave Allen. That's the first time that Dave Allen's got it. Gareth Moore trying to test out that shoulder, see if he's okay.
Davis going for the line. I think he's got it down. He has. He's on the field and instantly making an impact is the Wigan youngster, Ben Davies. And that's the way to announce yourself. The 20-year-olds who was watching the big game between Wigan and Warrington on Friday night, well, now he's involved in a big game himself in this Northern Rail Cup final, and he's got Widnes on the scoreboard.
Well, Gareth Moore on goal line defence was offside and chose to pick the pockets of the Widnes player, giving the position. What about this for a run? Such determination, hitting, spinning, he knows where the try line is. And Ben Davies, who is an outstanding prospect for the future, dual registered with the Wigan club, just gets Widnes back into this game. Great individual try.
And now Grady, 97 goals to his name already this season. And the man who assumes the goal-kicking duties in this Widnes side, there's not another player out there, I think, who's kicked a goal. And that's probably why, because Shane Grady doesn't normally miss. 12 points to 6, the scoreline. And Widnes, after a shaky start, conceding those early tries, have hit back through that man, Ben Davies.
Well, there's only one play. Ben Davies plays that straight and direct. Sort of full-back in the line, Johnny Campbell. He's trying to get up Gareth Moore as well. Goes crashing over for Widnes. But that's 3 tries, all come off the back of penalties and field position.
So Widnes giving warning there to the Batley Bulldogs. Really the first time the Batley defence had been tested, and they didn't cope with it that well, conceded the penalty and then paid the price. And here is that man Davies again.
He's got superb footwork, Ben Davies. We know he's dual registered with the Wigan club, but when you look at Widnes and their history of front rowers, Kurt Sorensen and Big Jim Mills are just two of those players. He could be as good as any of those players if he stayed with his club.
Netherton's kick. He's had a fine start to his career at the Widnes Vikings. Kirk Netherton, to the extent that he's there next season now. That's a great chase, and Campbell's not going anywhere. And Gerrard makes certain of that.
That's a fantastic chase by the Widnes defence. You can see the pressure put on Johnny Campbell at fullback. He catches the ball, he has a little look up. All he can see is the Widnes defensive line. Chris Gerrard chasing up the middle of the park, throws him dead, trying to rally his troops.
Well, he's very dangerous in broken play, Johnny Campbell, but there was nowhere for him to go there. Celebrated his 23rd birthday yesterday, the Batley Bulldogs fullback, and that goal line dropout is in the hands of Davies again, and a look of anxiety on the faces of of Danny Morn and John Gallagher as he hurtled towards them there. Here's Gerrard, another Wigan youngster in actual fact, Chris Gerrard. He was a reserve grade final winner with them last year, the Warriors. Davies. And they're only about 11 metres out now of the Widnes Vikings as he plays the ball. Coyle, Thackeray, he's through. And the Batley Bulldogs have conceded another try. And Thackeray, man of the match in the semi-final for the Vikings, is on the scoreboard already this evening. And that's more like it's for the Widnes Vikings coach and for the Vikings. 21 tries this season now for Anthony Thackeray, and it hasn't taken long for the Widnes Vikings to get things back on track.
In any game, there's going to be a moment of inspiration, and I think this might have just been one. Kirk Netherton, he's on the scene, Gerrard's on the scene, Thackeray's on the scene. He said to Johnny Campbell, you're not getting out of that area. And it's just about bodies in motion, and too many questions to be answered by the Batley defence, and they were unable to give the correct answer. Everybody having a guess, having a stab at who they think's going to catch and receive that ball, and Thackeray just sticks it up his jumper and gets another try for the Vikings.
And Grady will attempt to convert it now from bang in front of the posts, and before you can blink, the scores are level. 12 points apiece, and the Batley Bulldogs' optimism very quickly punctured by this turnaround here. The coach, well, the expression hasn't changed really, knows that there's a long way to go, but the Batley Bulldog supporters, well, crestfallen now. And that's out on the full, I think it is. And of course, one side of this ground is wide open to the elements while the building work goes on, and a bit of a breeze coming in from that side, probably.
Well, this is putting a bit of pressure now on this Batley side. Just conceded a try. Now it goes back to the penalty on halfway.
Moore just a bit too much into that. There's usually plenty of points between these two. 30 points apiece when they met in the Northern Rail, rather 30 all when they met in the Northern Rail. Last year they shared 74 points in one game in the Championship, Ian Morrison getting a hat-trick. And we've already got 24 points on the board here, and we haven't had a quarter of the game yet. And here they come once more. Coyle, they're going to give it a bit of width this time. Flynn joining in. Flynn hoping for the try line himself this time, but he's lost the ball. And this time the Batley Bulldogs defence do manage to scramble across and diffuse the danger.
Well, my initial thoughts is Paul Hanforth made a play for that. You can see his left arm just tugs at that ball. Well, you can see him tug at that ball. He goes, look straight at the touch judge to say that it's been knocked forward.
I'm not sure whether the pass to Shane Grady was on as well. He was pushing up in that next hole.
Well, that's a let-off for the Bulldogs, because now, whenever they get up that end of the field, Widnes are looking threatening. And the Batley defence is looking a bit anxious. But now they've got to try and work this ball away from their own try line, and that's going to be a tough task with the Vikings defence in this sort of mood. Just inside their own 40 is Tootil. Well, he gets just over that 40 now. Will Moore maybe try for a 40-20? Well, Hanforth, he's outside it. They're giving it a bit of width, and that hasn't come off. It's been knocked on. Mark Toohey couldn't take the ball.
Well, that's good pressure by Dean Gaskell. But I'm not so sure. I'm sure that ball was stripped by Tiger Hanforth. You can see Paddy Flynn goes for it. There's the arm. You can see he just tugs away.
You're right, Tez. That was stripped. But an even worse decision from Hanforth was not to kick that ball. What was working for them in the opening 15 minutes was the territory game. Get down your opposition's end and threaten and pressurise them into making mistakes.
Gardner running straight at Gareth Moore there, and the little number 7 did well to hang on to the big Widnes centre. But here comes Coyle now. Plays the ball on the 20-metre line. Ben Davies, one of the try scorers. Dave Allen so close to scoring. Allen in a little bit of discomfort there as he went backwards in the tackle. But he plays the ball. Thackeray now, back on the inside. There is Steve Pickersgill into the action. First time since February for Pickersgill, the former Warrington man. Terrible back troubles to deal with. Meanwhile, problems for the Batley Bulldogs to deal with, and Gardner couldn't take the pass. And another opportunity goes begging for the Widnes Vikings.
Well, Matt Gardner's come straight and hard onto this pass by Thomas Coyle. Probably needed to be awaited a bit better than that in these conditions, trying to catch the ball at the line.
It's been a long journey for these two sides to get to the Northern Rail final. Began at the back end of January, the qualifying rounds of this competition, the group stages. The weather has improved slightly, although it has stopped raining. 12 points apiece here. Batley shooting into a 12-0 lead early on. It was the Vikings who were caught cold. You half expected the rookies at this sort of competition to be the ones slow out of the blocks, but it was the Vikings, but they've certainly caught up now. 12 all it is.
You've got to get into the speed of the game straight away in finals. You can't wait for teams to just get a 12-point advantage against you. Good kick by Gareth Moore.
It's over the top of Ainscough, and Flynn fields it. Ainscough immediately makes himself available, comes across the field. Walton gets a hold of him, drives him back.
Very impressive in the back three. Paddy Flynn, Sean Ainscough, Dean Gaskell, all really threatening with the ball in hand.
Finished off by Mark Toohey it was. Finn plays the ball. Here is Gaskell now. Gaskell across the field. Finds Thackeray. Thackeray opens him up with the dummy to Allen. He's looking for some support now, and Campbell just manages to get a hold of him. Quick play the ball. Campbell with the Cumberland throw, I think it was, but the referee's saying that he wasn't square anyway. And that's going to be a penalty to the Widnes Vikings. And referee Robert Hicks will call out the fullback. Here you go, here's the incident.
He just can't keep away, Johnny Campbell. Superb attacking play from Widnes, though. That's his pet play, Thackeray. The show and go. Great work again from Dean Gaskell. Scooting across on a lovely left to right pass. Keep moving, keep going. Maintain this pressure.
Penalty goes to Widnes. They got penalised early on. In fact, Batley got the first 3 penalties. Widnes have had the last 4, and now they're bang in front of those posts again. Pickersgill it is who'll play the ball. Smith, Davies. They're not going to let him get another one, but it might just be a matter of time here for the Vikings. Here's Coyle, Thackeray. Thackeray has to put the brakes on. That's better defence from the Bulldogs, as Thackeray is stopped in his tracks. Allen, Gerrard it is now. Chris Gerrard is tackled just short of the try line. Mark Smith, Pickersgill, dumped to the ground. That's the 5th tackle. Coyle, arm raised, is pointing to the corner. Is that where the kick's going to come? He's going to drift it over the top, and it's batted dead by the Batley Bulldogs. Be another goal line dropout.
Well, Paul Hanford not taking any chances with this. Clever little kick by Thomas Coyle for Leaderham. Just backed it dead. They now have to defend another set of 6. Well, big danger play for Batley. Anthony Thackeray, whenever he gets the ball, if you condense your defence so tight, you've got to make sure you have some speed to the outside. We looked at little John Gallagher. The back row for Batley just had too much speed, got on the outside of him. Couldn't score the try for Widnes.
Hanforth just taking his time about restarting this game, and then a low skimming goal line dropout. Gets away from Thackeray. Davies once more was certainly, since he came on to replace Gareth Haggerty, he's had an impact on this game as Ben Davies. Pickersgill has also made his presence felt on his return to action. Mark Smith now, another one who was out for an awful long time for the Vikings. 3 months out because of injury, Mark Smith. So things have come right for them at just the right time of the season as far as the Northern Rail goes. Bit of work to do as far as a playoff place goes, though, for the Widnes Vikings, but that's on the back burner for today because it's the Northern Rail Cup they're looking to retain. Flynn plays the ball, 10 metres out. Lee Duran, Coyle now. Thackeray shows it to one, takes him on himself. Morn makes the tackle. That's the 5th tackle again. Batley Bulldogs backs to the wall here. and Coyle once more looking to put the kick in, and Moore very quickly down on him as Coyle slipped, and a let-off for the Bulldogs.
That was a poor pass from acting half. Give Thomas Coyle virtually no chance. He had to reach up, catch the ball with one hand, and he tried to step back inside. He couldn't get the kick away. But great intensity from Batley. They're not prepared to give chance after chance to Widnes, because they know that Widnes Vikings today will take it.
So it'll be the turnover when we get going. And Campbell with the first run for the Batley Bulldogs. Not since 1952 have they been in a final like this, and that was when they lost to Huddersfield at Headingley. So this is a big day for the Batley club and their supporters. Club that normally has an average support of around 1,000. In fact, I think it was under 1,000 last season. Well, they've certainly got some support here today, and that support is seeing them on the attack with Tui, but Gaskell right in his face.
Again, good read by Dean Gaskell, coming in and cutting that play off on Tui.
Gareth Moore, time to hoist the kick, but it's straight up in the air. Maybe had too much time. And Chris Gerrard, time underneath it as well.
Again, that was a poor kick. It didn't go forward. Got to try and put pressure on this Widnes side. I just kick the ball, go straight up in the air. Chris Gerrard, brave to take that ball, not come away with the mistake.
Of course, Batley supporters will be pointing out that they have won the Trans-Pennine Cup and the White Rose Championship in the intervening years, but the Northern Rail, I think, would mean a lot more to the club. As Bulldog supporters, touch judges on, seen something in the tackle.
I think he's on for a grapple tackle here on Lee Durant.
Is it Jason Walton the culprit?
I'm sure it was.
Okay. Just tell me the report.
Touch judge Peter Brook is on to make his report to the referee Robert Hicks, and just asking Paul Hanforth to pass the message on.
Well, again, the initial contact by Walton was good. Then he goes up, you can see just grapple straight away, straight in front of the touch judge. Widnes take a quick tap.
Here's Davies once more. 2 tackles gone, and Batley are really back where they started, having withstood that relentless attacks from the Widnes Vikings. They're now back on their own try line as Flynn plays the ball, and Gardner will go for it, and Gardner, will he get there? That's a great defensive effort from the Bulldogs there, because Matt Gardner, who's a big man, looked odds-on to go over, but it could just be delaying the inevitable here. That's the last tackle in this set of 6. Kavanagh trying to stretch out. He couldn't get there. Thackeray, they're going to run this one, are they? Coyle for Lee Duran. And he's going to be held, I think. He's got the ball away. The referee says it's still alive. And Davies looking for a second. He is held. And again, the Batley Bulldogs survive. That is fantastic defence from Batley on their own try line. They stopped Gardner on one side, and now they've stopped Davies on the other.
Outstanding by this Batley side. We saw in the semi-final, again, the offload from Widnes, but just too strong on the defence. I think there's a bit of a problem with Danny Morn on the left-hand side. He keeps on clutching his left shoulder. That'll be a big loss to Carl Addison if he has to leave the field.
Here's David Tootill. There is Danny Morn, who was a big performer in that semi-final win at Lee. That looked high.
You're right, Bill, that's a little bit high from Dave Allen. Mick Govan, who's come onto the pitch in the last couple of minutes, he'll ask some question. Well, is that high? I know I seem to say that a lot, but... Well, anyway. Robert Hicks thinks it's high and it's a penalty. And Widnes now need to back up that mistake with some good defence.
It's Mr. Hicks's decision that counts, and a gasp from the Batley supporters, because that was a swing on John Gallagher. But Carl Harrison mystified by that one. If the previous one was high, what was that then? I think is possibly what he's suggesting. Govin, good ball for Walton. Walton is able to stand and get that pass away. Lindsay going round in circles. 3 tackles gone. They're about 20 metres away from the Widnes Vikings line. Here is Gareth Moore. Moore showing it, ducking under the challenge, but Allen wise to that one. They know each other well, these two sides. This is the 4th meeting this season as Hanford. Crossfield kick, looking for Greenwood. Gaskell has lost it. And it's going to be Batley's head and feed. Gaskell did well up against a taller man in Lee Greenwood, but he couldn't get a hold on the ball.
He was under pressure by Tui. You can see that Tui knocks the ball back, then it comes off Dean Gaskell and goes into touch. There you go. It comes off his arm, off his left arm, knocks it straight in touch.
Fullback Johnny Campbell looking to catch maybe the Widnes Vikings defence cold from that scrum. 2-2 now. Lee Duran comes to meet him. 2 tackles gone. Batley haven't seen this end of the ground for a while now. Hanforth, Govin for Jason Walton. Walton looking for a second. He's held up. He claims he's got the try.
I think that was obstruction as well.
I think you're right, Cesar. There's an obstruction just before Jason Walton catches the ball. Let's have a look at it.
I think you'll find it's the centre Mark Tui that goes through. You can see Thomas Coyle, the Widnes number 14. He's having a little look. Walton, yeah.
Is there enough of an obstruction? Is Thomas Coyle got enough time to get to Jason?
I think that's an obstruction, Barry.
I think you're right.
Walton looking for a second try. Well, it never even got to the grounding in actual fact, so it's pretty apparent that referee Richard Silverwood is looking at the obstruction there and has found in favour of the Widnes Vikings. Video ref Richard Silverwood deciding that was the case.
But again, danger signs for Widnes is this Batley team are not prepared just to take it up the middle of the park. They're prepared to throw the ball around and test Widnes on the edges. Unfortunately for Kyle Harrison, Jason Walton run beyond Mark Tui. An obstruction try was disallowed.
Here's Lee Duran. So we had a flurry of scoring from Batley Bulldogs early on. Then we had back-to-back tries from the Widnes Vikings to level it up. And since the 17th minute, really, it's all gone quiet in terms of point scoring, although Widnes have come mighty close. Here is Davies.
God, I've been impressed with him. He really has stepped up to the mark. Taking 2 in sets of 6 sometimes.
Ben Kavanagh now plays the ball. Mark Smith off the bench and into the action for the side he used to captain. Handed that honour over to Dave Allen while he was out injured. And Coyle goes for one and misses. Odd decision to go half an hour. I suppose we haven't had anything in terms of point scoring, so let's give it a go, but a waste of possession there.
Well, I know he's here, Steve, so he'll be pleased with that. Perhaps Thomas Coyle just thinking that this game might end up being tight, bearing in mind it were 30 points apiece at Mount Pleasant.
Do you not think they'll just keep the pressure on?
Well, he might have got the taste for it, considering he kicked his first drop goal of the season last week against Dewsbury, a crucial one, so he's obviously thinking, I'm on a roll here. But not that time. Alex Brown, the Huddersfield Giants player, currently with Batley, plays the ball. And here's Tootill. Once of the Harlequins club, Dave Tootill. Tommy Gallagher now into the action. 4 tries he scored last week in the victory over the Barrow Raiders. Oh, everybody's trying it. Gareth Moore's gone for it, and he's got it. Well, they obviously sense that there's not going to be a lot between the two sides when we get to the end of this game, and Moore going for the 1 point while it was there.
Well, surprising by both sides that they not just want to build a bit of pressure. Both of them started, well, Batley started very strong, going into a 12-0 lead. There's been nothing in it in the last 15 minutes. But quite content with coming away with 1 point, better than nothing. Grady
with the restarts. Here's Tootill. I think the Bulldogs have got a few problems. Let's join Rod Studd on the sidelines.
Yes, Bill, Terry and Barry were talking about Danny Moore, and they've spotted him in back play, just nursing his shoulder. They're absolutely right. The Batley bench are a little bit concerned about Danny Moore, the two-try hero of the semi-final win at Lee. He has suffered a little bit of a blow on his shoulder, but clearly no one is going to come out of the match out there unless they're very badly injured. So he's going to just carry on play through the pain barrier for the Batley Bulldogs.
Here's Mick Govin, the only member of this Batley Bulldogs side to taste victory in this competition. A winner with Lee against Hull Kingston Rovers in 2006.
Move 10 metres. Go.
And Moore now. Thumps the kick in, and Ainscote deciding in these conditions as the rain comes down again that he was going to leave it, and it was a wise decision.
Gareth Moore trying to get that ball in the pocket, as we call it, right in the corner, to make it as difficult as possible for Widnes. We're just going into the last 5 minutes of this half, and I wouldn't be surprised if Gareth Haggerty makes his way onto the pitch.
Here is Gannon. Gallagher right in his face to make the tackle. Tommy Gallagher, a part of the Wigan Warriors community team in his day job.
Again, good yardage by Ben Davis.
Smith's ball on the inside. It was forward to Coyle.
That was a shame, Bill. That was an excellent play. He committed the markers to his right and just popped it back left. That was a fantastic play. Just a yard forward. Some wily characters in this Widnes side.
Mark Smith there. It was forward, says the referee, in the politest terms. So Batley head and feed on the halfway line. And here's Alex Brown now for the Bulldogs. There is Tommy Gallagher, 4 tries last week, and as I said, in possession. He's had a busy week. He's a member of the Wigan community team, and they were in Coventry on Thursday working with the Coventry Bears, doing a bit of coaching and skills training, that sort of thing.
Nobody spoke to him all week, Bill, he told me.
That was a mess at the play, the ball, and again there was a shove, says the referee, so presumably they will go for the 2 points. Referee Hicks adamant about that one.
Here's another one. I'm not sure about this either. The ball pops out in a minute. I'm sure the referee had called held. Carl Harrison says go for 2.
There you can see he's saying that the leg came in the air. He's getting up to play the ball. Does he lift his leg again? No, he doesn't.
Well, it's a penalty. That's the bottom line. And Gareth Moore, who kicked his 2nd drop goal of the season a few moments ago, will try and kick his 105th goal of the season, I think it'll be. Two from 2 already this season, this afternoon for Moore. And this one head on to the posts. The only distraction possibly is that there are hordes of Widnes Viking supporters right behind those posts, doing their best to put him off. But Moore keeps his composure, lands the penalty to extend the Batley Bulldogs lead. 15-12 now in favour of the Bulldogs. And there is the Bulldogs coach, real tough cookie. Took over from Gary Thornton last summer, did Carl Harrison, and continued the good work that Gary Thornton did and his predecessors. Paul Storey, likewise, keeping this Batley Bulldogs in the mid-division, the tier below Super League, and that's no mean feat for a club with the average attendances that they've got. And they've been there for 8 seasons, ever since that mid-tier was formed, and that is a great job. And they're punching above their weight here this afternoon. A knock on there. Tui it was, I think. Can't believe that decision.
Well, Mark Tui, he's getting up to play the ball. Yep, he loses it. Trying to complain to the referee that there's a hand in there from Widnes.
This ball must be like a bar of soap with all the rain and moisture in the grass and in the air. It's very difficult. You need to get your thumb around that ball.
So head and feed to the Widnes Vikings, and as the first half comes towards a close, this is an opportunity for them maybe to get back in front, well, to get in front, in fact, for the first time this afternoon. 12-0 down, got it back to 12 all, 15-12 out down, 15-12 down now, but an opportunity for them to maybe finish the first half with a positive advantage as Kavanagh goes to ground, bang in front of those posts. Smith, Gannon the dummy runner, Thackeray, Flynn now, Flynn stretches the pass away to Grady, but Grady couldn't take it. 4 tackles gone. The ball's, it's a wild one, and Coyle does well to pick it up. And Coyle, that's the 5th tackle. Good defence from Gallagher and Greenwood. Thackeray with the outside of the boot, Brown underneath it, he takes it, and it's a tap on the 20, and Batley survive.
A little bit wild there, Widnes at times. Thackeray decides to put the kick in, and an excellent take from Brown, just diffusing the pressure. 30 seconds until half-time.
James Martin plays the ball. Here is Campbell, and the Batley Bulldogs have enjoyed what they've seen in this first half.
He's done an awful lot of work, Alex Brown. Come up with that ball then. Willing to bring the ball away.
Coaches Cullen and Harrison know that their sides have got room for improvement in the second half here. But it's going to end with the Batley Bulldogs with a narrow advantage. Morn has put that ball down. And that's the final act of this first half. A real seesaw affair which saw Walton and Hesketh score early tries to put Batley 12-0 up, and then Widnes coming back to level it. The boot of Gareth Moore just putting Batley ahead at the interval by 15 points to 12.
Yes, it's a ding-dong final, isn't it? This last match of the Northern Rail Cup of 2010. A 12-0 lead for Batley. Widnes fighting their way back into it. We've seen a drop goal in the opening half here. 15-12 to the Batley Bulldogs. Carl Harrison's won this trophy before. 2003 with Salford, they beat Lee. Is he on the verge of winning it again? We're back in the Super League this Friday and Saturday, and we're back in the Rugby League crazy city of Kingston upon Hull. The Black and Whites will take on Wigan at 7:30 on Sky Sports HD2 on Friday. And on Saturday, well, we also have extra time, of course, follows that. Super League extra time following on the red button. And then on Saturday we go further east to Hull Kingston Rovers against Bradford, and that's Sky Sports HD2 as well. 5 o'clock for that on Saturday. Here we have the Northern Rail Cup final. The Championship Club's big day. Batley Bulldogs 15, Widnes Vikings 12. Batley in their first major final for 58 years. They lost to Huddersfield in the 1952 Yorkshire Cup final. You've got to go back to 1924 though for their last trophy lift, when they were crowned champions. 86 years ago they beat Wigan. Carl Harrison, the former England coach, is there in his first full season at Batley, and he's telling his players what for. Paul Cullen is also a former England coach. He won the Federation Shield as England coach. Whitehaven, Warrington, now Widnes since March of last year. 7 unbeaten at the start of the campaign. That was his best ever start to a season. And, well, they had to come from behind, didn't they? And he wants more in the second half, boys.
The tale of this first half has been position, and whenever the opposition and whenever the team that has the ball has been pressurising the try line, more often than not they've come up with the goods. The first try came from Jason Walton off a Tiger Hanforth break. He's just on the shoulder, just gets the ball down, getting Batley the perfect start. And Johnny Gallagher, we thought, lost possession. But Batley, from this position and through Sean Hesketh, get another try, and you think it's all about Batley in the opening 10 or 15 minutes.
Well, all the penalties in the first opening half. You see Ben Davis off the back of a penalty. He just runs straight over Chris Lyde and picks out Johnny Campbell. But again, good kick chase, the pressure there from Coyle, from Chris Gerrard, doesn't give Johnny Campbell any chance of getting back into the field of play. And it's Anthony Thackeray, a real danger when he gets the ball in hand, and just too much push by Jason Walton.
But just before half-time, we saw Jason Walton have a try scratched off. There's an obstruction there. Robert Hicks disallows this try.
Well, there's Thomas Coyle. They're not willing to just build a bit of pressure in this game, Eddie. Thomas Coyle goes for the one-pointer, fails to get it. Gareth Moore at the other end of the park. The next set of 6 goes for the one-pointer and slots it between the uprights.
15-12, a sensational first half, a real ding-dong battle. And the thing that has struck me is that whoever, and I think you're right, Barry, whoever's had the penalties early on, you know, they've had the field position, they got over for the try. So the most important thing, Terry, in the second half is discipline. The players can't give away penalties on such a short pitch and narrow pitch as this.
That is exactly it, Eddie. You can't give penalties away. It's 10 metres shorter than normal pitch, and to do that, you're just inviting the opposition down the other end of the park. And if you've got someone like Gareth Moore, Tiger Handfifth on Widnes' side, Anthony Thackeray and Thomas Coyle, there's so many threats there. The big men are creating so much go forward. Sean Hesketh, that'll be a player that Paul Cullen will not be happy with. He scored a couple of tries against Widnes, that exact same play, and the forwards had to be tighter and just defend what's in front of them.
Batley will be happy with the first half, obviously. They're leading at half-time. Is this as good as it gets for them, or do you think that they can push on and win in this second half?
I think Batley and Carl Harrison would have said to his players, we need to get off to a good start, and they kicked well. Right at the very start, I said that Moore and Handforth, they needed to pen Widnes down and keep them in their own half, and whenever they've done that, they've looked threatening. And I go back to, I think it was about 30 minutes, Batley had 2 sets of 6 where they were heroic in defence, and if they can keep doing that and restrict and stop Widnes from scoring those points when they're on their own line, then I think they've got a good chance.
I mean, Batley are a real homespun outfit, aren't they, under Carl Harrison? They've never been out of the tier immediately below Super League, so they're consistent. And to be on a big stage like this, they're enjoying the day. They're enjoying the moment.
Eddie, they've got all the rewards for all the hard work that they've done behind the scene. Paul Harrison, Carl Harrison's brother, who's the CEO at Batley. And I think that there's a lot of players there who have been shown the door from a lot of Super League clubs, and he's knitted together a team. And it is a real workmanlike side. That the semi-final against Leigh, to beat them 25 points to 4, when that was a must-win game for Leigh, because they wanted to be here and they wanted to earn the right to apply for a Super League licence. And they just work for each other. They are, like Barry said, they're heroic in defence. They turn up for each other. When one of the teammates is out, someone else will come in and do the hard work for them. So Widnes know that to get the result, they need a big 40-minute effort.
OK, so who's going to take home the Northern Rail Cup? We'll know in around about 40 minutes or thereabouts, because the second half is underway. And Batley have just got their noses in front at the moment. They lead by 3 points. It's 15 points to 12 to the Bulldogs, but can the Vikings sail home? Thursday nights have established themselves as rugby league nights on Sky Sports in 2010. Beginning at 7 o'clock, we have NRL full-time. Half an hour of all the best moments of this weekend's draw down under. 7 o'clock, Sky Sports 4. Stay with us on 4 for Barrow against Halifax. If you like the championship, you're seeing it today in this Northern Rail final. Barrow against Halifax is on Thursday live at 7:30. And we follow that with Brian Carney's Super League's Supermen. His special guest this week is Sean Long. 9:30, Sky Sports 4. It's about to start the second half of the Northern Rail Cup final with the Batley Bulldogs ahead by 15 points to 12. Can Widnes fight back? Will Batley win their first trophy in more than a generation? The boys are upstairs, Terry and Barry alongside Bill Harper.
Batley fans here, they'd had hoped to travel to the Northern Rail final on a train. Not unreasonable, you'd have imagined. Not a bit of it. This is the British transport system we're talking about. They had to come by coach. But Batley are here. They're in the lead by 15 points to 12. And looking to cause a major upset here against the Northern Rail Cup holders. the Widnes Vikings. And we saw some determined defence from the Batley Bulldogs in the first half after Widnes Vikings have got themselves back on track. Escaped one or two very close try-scoring opportunities by the skin of their teeth, and Widnes have shown that they've got what it takes, but these two have been nip and tuck all season. Shared a 30-all draw in the group stages of this competition, and it's one win apiece as far as the championship goes. Lee Greenwood in possession for the Batley Bulldogs.
Wonder what direction both coaches would have given at half-time. This is the part of the field where you've got to be very honest. With attacking threats like Johnny Campbell for Batley, Paddy Flynn for Widnes, they really look to exploit those lazy defenders.
2-2 in possession, and now it's Jason Walton, try scorer in the first half for the Batley Bulldogs. 4 tackles gone, and Hanforth
You're a bit unrealistic, Paul.
directing operations there. Here is Tommy Gallagher looking to offload. Gannon with the tackle, and it's Hanforth who puts the kick in into the corner. It's a good one as well. It'll find touch, and it's an opportunity to catch up with the half-time news. Let's join Rod Studd.
Well, you know, Bill, we talked about Carl Harrison being very relaxed before the match. I've got to say, it was a lot less relaxed as he came out of the tunnel at half-time. I think it suddenly dawned on him that his team are now, 38 minutes away from winning the big prize. He's calling for a lot more patience for his team and an improvement on the kicking game. Well, he certainly got that, didn't he, from that beautiful little kick into the corner just a moment or two ago. Paul Cullen's very positive. He's very keen to stress that Widnes dominated territory in that first half, and he feels with more composure that'll pay off, and the experience of the likes of Mark Smith should help them in this second half. Just a quick word on the pitch. Terry and Barry have pointed out about the greasy surface and the ball getting wet. They're right, because there's a lot of water, surface water, out on that grass. It's long grass, and the ball will get very wet and very greasy very quickly, Bill.
And thankfully, it has brightened up again after the downpours we've had earlier on today. That's what's made life so difficult for the players out there, but Widnes keeping a hold of the ball in this set of 6, and then Batley getting a hold of Thomas Coyle. Mark Smith, good run from him, then gets the pass away. It eventually reaches Gaskell. It's on the last. Gaskell puts the kick in, and Campbell runs it back. Now this is where he's dangerous, but not for long.
There wasn't much patience about that play from Mark Smith. He went from dummy half, saw the markers weren't ready, but then flung the ball back inside, and Widnes needed to get that kick away. It was a brave play, but I'm not sure whether patience might not be the key in these opening 10 or 15 minutes.
Brown plays the ball. Here is Gallagher. Got away from the first challenge. Gannon slipped. Kavanagh it was who came hurtling in and missed him.
Good job, there was a bit of footwork from Tommy Gallagher then.
Hanforth's little chip kick, it's ricocheted, and it's good job that Sean Ainscough, and Ainscough told to go back and play it. He was tackled. Well, Ainscough was at 6s and 7s there. He really didn't know what the score was, whether the decision was that he'd been tackled or whether he should stop and play the ball, so it's a bit harsh.
Well, he didn't think he was tackled there, Sean Ainscough. The referee saying you've got to go back and play it. He's trying to go back and play it. A little prod in the back by Gareth Moore.
He's told to go back and play the ball. He couldn't work out where he was when he was actually tackled.
And he couldn't get into position because Gareth Moore was there.
Too many instructions for him then, he didn't know where he was.
It's and a penalty against Batley for not playing the ball correctly.
Well, I think he's squared it up now.
Martin it was, and Carl Harrison cannot believe that one either.
Shaking his head, Carl Harrison knows this is a perfect part of the pitch to attack. See, he didn't play that ball, didn't touch it. Just another couple of inches to touch onto that ball, but again, relieving penalty for Widnes.
Correct call from the referee. Here's Gannon.
Oh, he needs somebody pushing up with him, Jim Gannon, when the defence is so tight from this Batley side.
No fireworks from Jim Gannon in this Northern Rail Cup final like last year, but then again there's not Brett McDermott around to wind him up, as there was last year in the victory against the Barrow Raiders. The error from the Vikings. And it's given Batley Bulldogs the ball back. Here is James Martin.
I bet he plays it with his foot this time. It's just a simple tip-on from Ben Davis, and Kavanagh couldn't get it.
Govin back on the inside. Byron Smith got it at the second attempt, I think, there. 3 tackles gone. Hanforth, Gareth Moore now. Moore looking to take him on, but he's run again into the bulky figure of Matt Gardner. Here's Govin now. Govin, Tui running at Grady, driving him backwards. That's the 5th tackle. Moore looking to put the kick in. Instead, they go for the short ball to Hesketh, and Hesketh is held up. That'll be the turnover.
Well, again, they go for Sean Hesketh. That same play, a lot of succession with. On that occasion, there was a couple of Widnes defenders stood straight in front of him.
And a little bit of a dispute between Paul Hanforth and Gareth Moore there, because I think Moore was expecting that he was going to be putting the kick into the corner.
But it's give Batley a lift now. Look at the speed of the line. Trying to close Widnes down here.
Three tackles gone. Here is Mark Smith as Kavanagh plays the ball. Gannon. 4 tackles gone as Gannon goes to ground.
He's a willing worker, Jim Gannon.
Now Thackeray. His turn to put the kick in, hoping it'll sit up, backspin on it, but it slithers away off the field.
It's too long, but it's not such a bad thing. The defensive line can get organised and try and control Brown.
Thackeray wasn't impressed, cursing as he turned away from that kick. Byron Smith now, the Welsh international, cut down. Done well to get back into contention, Byron Smith, because he and Carl Harrison weren't seeing eye to eye, and not seeing eye to eye with Carl Harrison is not a wise move. But he's got himself back in favour through hard work, Byron Smith, and he's back in the side. Plays the ball. Oh, and Hesketh puts it down.
Well, there could be little turning points. Sean Hesketh, does he have a little look up at the Widnes people coming towards him? He had a little snatch at that ball. Ben Kavanagh, Jim Gannon straight in front of him. Take the last second, had a little look up.
Head and feet to the Widnes Vikings just inside their own half. Here's Thackeray now. Matt Gardner, and Gardner gliding away from the first challenge.
That was good manners off Thomas Coyle going into that scrum. Then he said, referee, excuse me, trying to put the ball in.
Davies.
Movement, 10 metres, Sean. Go.
Off goes Dean Gaskell, and Gaskell away from the first challenge. 3 wins in this competition for Dean Gaskell. Can he make it 4? His side are trailing at the moment, but Mark Smith driving him forward, then losing the ball. And didn't like the celebrations from the Batley Bulldogs players.
No, Mark Smith thinks that there's a hand in there. So he's shaking his head at the referee.
I think he's right. I thought on first.
There you can see, is it Tommy Gallagher? You can see he pulled his right arm away.
Get in, Paul.
Tommy G, he'll have to go to confession next week.
Out.
That's why he's frustrated.
Campbell tackled by Matt Gardner. Here is Danny Morn, shoulder problem or not, he's still out there for the Batley Bulldogs. Get into him is the cry, and it's done the trick because Byron Smith has coughed it up. Only 20 metres from his own try line. Gannon has it back, he plays the ball. Haggerty is back to make a contribution at the start of the second half. Flynn for the line, and Flynn for the try, surely. He's got there, and the pressure told on the Batley Bulldogs there. The Vikings stepped it up and got in their faces just like their supporters were hoping. And in the end, the Bulldogs' defence couldn't cope. And Paddy Flynn gets try number 8 this season to finish off that really inspired spell from the Widnes Vikings.
We'll put this try down to really competitive defence. Byron Smith can't keep hold of the ball. And watch what Gareth Haggerty does here. He commits 3 defenders. And Flynn is a lethal try scorer. And Paddy Flynn doesn't need asking twice. 3 defenders are attracted to Haggerty. Great grip. Great leg drive, and Paddy Flynn has got Widnes back in this game. Footwork, ball skills, speed, power, superb.
Widnes are ahead for the first time this afternoon. 16 points to 15 now they are in the lead. And a bit of thinking going on from those Batley players behind the line, waiting for Shane Grady to line up this conversion attempt. Approaching 100 for the season with his goal kicking. There's Byron Smith there, and it was his error, sadly, that led to that try and that conversion for the Vikings. 18 points to 15, they lead. The first time they have been ahead of their opponent, Steve O'Connor, the Vikings backer and chairman. Well, he knows that they're not home and dry yet, but they are in the lead.
Well, Widnes generating a lot of speed around the ruck area apart. Mark Smith, Dean Gaskell. But the introduction of Gareth Haggerty, he really tore into Byron Smith, which caused him to lose that ball.
Move, 10 metres.
And again set up the try for Paddy Flynn. But again, Widnes quite content from scooting from dumb in half. Coming out of their own area.
Just going back to Gareth Haggerty, I said I'd have used him myself 5 minutes before half-time. He's on the ball. He must be carrying a little bit of extra weight with that injury, but that makes him all the more powerful in this division. When you're running against defenders who can't cope with the size, they'll struggle to get their arms round him, never mind stop him, and he's going to cause a lot of trouble for Batley today. It will be in short spells though.
Gannon just over the halfway line. That was a bit of a fumble at the play the ball as Smith puts the kick in over the top. It's a good one, and Alec Brown will have to run this ball back.
And look at that for a chase. Mark Smith down below, Thomas Coyle over the top. What can Campbell do?
Phew, that's a relief. Not square. Penalty to the Batley Bulldogs. Tempers just raising a little bit.
Well, this will be interesting. Does he actually get the ball down before Mark Smith splits?
Oh,
I think that's a harsh penalty.
Mark Smith, sorry, point here.
Penalty against the Vikings. That Shane Grady conversion we just saw was his 100th of the season. There is Grady, 100 for the season. A feat that the new RFL president was likely to do quite often. There he is, Bev Risman, in his first duties as the new president of the Rugby Football League. Tremendous honour for him, he was saying before the game. And looking forward to a year in the role and looking forward to some excitement in what remains of this Northern Rail Cup final, which is now in Widnes Vikings' favour, but it's Batley Bulldogs on the attack.
I think the ball's been dislodged there. Batley have knocked that ball, and you're right, Bill, there is a little bit of spice starting to come up and starting to raise the level, the intensity level. The players know that the game is still in the balance. Just look at this, is there another hand in that?
I think that could have been Dean Gaskell's right hand there, Barry.
Gaskell
right.
in the confession boxes. They're going to be busy this weekend.
Well, there you go.
Well, Batley have got the ball back, not keeping possession from the scrum. Widnes Vikings. And that error has given the Bulldogs this opportunity. Campbell tackled 10 metres out now. Here's Chris Lythe. Lythe, another of the try scorers in that memorable semi-final victory at Lee for the Bulldogs. Memorable it was for the Bulldogs. Hanforth, Haggerty came tearing out to try and close him down. Thackeray has done that on Gareth Moore. Moore looks up and says, what hit me there? Hanforth, and Thackeray is there once more. So Hanforth stabs a little grubber kick in. Gannon went across him there, could be in trouble.
Gareth Haggerty not taking any chances whatsoever. Good play by Hanforth. A neat little kick through. Bit of confusion with the Widnes players. He just hoofs it into roll Z. the big man, Gareth Haggerty. Was there a bit of a problem? Is he limping there?
Well, Mark Smith's just struggling a little bit, getting to his feet. Carl Harrison, pleased to see his side forcing a goal line dropout for the first time.
Kirk Netherton coming on for Widnes now. Whenever Widnes use Netherton, he comes out from dummy half. Committing defender Sean Hesketh on the ball now. Batley in a great position.
Here's Alex Brown now. Brown saying in the week that this game bigger even than his debut for the Giants, and that was made against St Helens last season. A game on Sky, in actual fact, which he said was a momentous occasion. But this even bigger, but that's another error from the Batley Bulldogs. The ball coming loose, and it was Byron Smith hoping to try and squeeze that pass out.
Byron Smith, that's the second or third occasion that he's dropped the ball. But one thing you can never accuse Byron Smith of is hiding. He will turn up, he will keep trunking that ball forward, he'll keep chewing the metres up for his team. He's got a bit of making up to do, but he won't give up, and he won't stop trying.
And Gardner has lost that ball, and they can't, there's a zone, something round there, because it's on that 20-metre line. They can't get either side of it.
I'll tell you what it is, it's a bit of nerves now creeping into this game. You can see he regathers that ball, and the ball spills out. Widnes struggling to get hold of the ball and just take it out of their own 20-yard area.
It's a force field, I'm telling you.
Either that or they're playing with imperial leather at the minute.
Has been wet virtually all day here. This is the brightest the day has been so far. Oof. Campbell felt that. Perfectly legitimate. Well, not if you're Johnny Campbell. Here's Hesketh, and Hesketh through the first line of defence, gets the pass away, brilliantly taken. It was Lythe, I think it was, he's lost it, slipped out of his grasp. Oh, how ironic. Well, not the word that Carl Harrison is probably thinking, but Lythe took the difficult pass, and then it got away from him.
Alex Brown was screaming for this on the left-hand side, just getting up, just can't control that ball. They had numbers with Gareth Moore on this left-hand side. Good break by Hesketh, offloads the ball to Lythe. Stepped the big man Gareth Haggerty, but then losing the ball. Can Widnes now get to the kick?
Can they get out of their own 20? Duran plays the ball. Gaskell. Gannon. Back to Coyle, and Coyle. He's lost the ball. I'm telling you, it's that 20-metre line.
Widnes are not helping themselves at all. The problem with Thomas Coyle took a bang, but now they've got to defend the line again. He just goes for it, Thomas Coyle. Tries to break through.
Mick Govin.
It's Mick Govin that comes over the top and dislodges this ball.
He just puts impact on the ball, and to be fair, Tez, if you are offloading the ball in your own 20-metre area, there's always going to be a danger of errors and situations like that.
Well, from that hit from Govin, there's a problem with Thomas Coyle, and the Widnes physio's just saying that got to change it over. So whether he knows where he is. There's Big Ben Kavanagh warming up on the sideline.
It does look as though Coyle's going to have to leave the field.
Oh,
that's a good shiner.
That's a right shiner, is that one.
It hurts as well.
Joanne, the Widnes physio, she knows that he needs to get off the pitch.
So head and feed once more to the Batley Bulldogs, and an opportunity to get there. Noses back in front, perhaps. Brown across the field. Still haven't made any forward progress from that scrum, the Bulldogs. Chris Lythe, Tootill. He's lost the ball.
Well, Batley want to have a little look up, because Gareth Haggerty is really struggling. He went into the collision in that defensive effort, and he's run straight to the wing. There's Tootill losing the ball.
Haggerty, of course, back after a knee injury. This is what we think happened to Thomas Coyle.
It looks like he was either poked in the eye or just Smacked across the face, purely accidental, I think.
Surrender.
But you're right about Gazagati. He'll be good with the ball, he'll be a big target, and he'll really ask questions, but in defence, he looks very, very immobile.
Hold. Hold. Go.
Ainscough now. Fiery character Sean Ainscough has served a 3-match ban already this season for a fight in a reserve grade game. Tackle there.
Look at that line speed.
Lee Duran taken high, and that's another penalty.
Well, that is not what they wanted. Mark Tui done everything right, getting off the line, putting pressure on Lee Duran, and swinging his arm, high tackle. That will not impress Carl Harrison.
And Tui.
Well, it was off the shoulder.
Lee Duran up on his feet. Mark Tui just getting a caution from referee Robert Hicks. So some bumps and bruises out there, and one of the casualties, Thomas Coyle. Rod's got some news.
Yeah, I think you're right, Bill. You and the boys up there. There was a straight finger that accidentally went into his eye. That right eye, as you can see there, is closing up very quickly. He looks like a boxer that's gone 12 rounds of a title fight. I think it's extremely unlikely we'll see him back on the field with the eyes shutting up, as I say, and also he's very woozy, Bill.
Here is Haggerty, able to rumble that ball forward for his side, but then slowly to his feet. But Netherton, Lee Duran now. He stopped just short. And the penalty allowing Widnes Vikings to put some pressure on this Batley Bulldogs defence. Morn wrestling for the ball with Allen, and Allen has dropped it. He had Morn right in his face, and Danny Morn doing well there.
Well, Dave Allen's trying to strip his arm free to offload that ball. But Danny Morn clamped that ball, the ball projected forward. Good line by Dave Allen, picks Morn straight out. You can see he tries to offload that ball.
Let's get in. Let's get in. Ball in, guys. Time to come.
Paul Cullen and his coaching staff in conference on the sidelines. Haggerty, well, he might be operating on one leg virtually, but the arms are working.
Well, you want to make him work. You want to make him work last, so you don't want to run straight at the big man.
It's good defence, this, from the Widnes Vikings.
This is the easiest part of the park to defend. When you can get really tight together, you can talk, you can control the speed at which the opposition play the ball.
Govin. It's amazing that on what is a small and narrow pitch, we haven't seen a 40-20 yet. That's the 5th tackle. This is good work from Widnes. Really putting the squeeze, but Hanforth gets some distance on that kick, but straight into the arms of Ainscough, and Ainscough motoring it back. Bounces off the first one. He does bounce, Ainscough. Little pinball figure.
And again, so strong every time he returns the ball, as is this man, Paddy Flynn. Send the other winger in now, Dean Gaskell, see what he can create. Again, stepping out of tackles.
Oh, and offloading the ball to Flynn. Flynn, tackled by Jason Walton. Pickersgill now. 4 tackles gone. Widnes ahead by 18 points to 15 here in this Northern Rail Cup final in Blackpool. That's the 5th tackle. Ainscough looking for the ball out this side, but it's down a cul-de-sac that the Widnes Vikings go, and that'll be the turnover.
Well, Kurt Netherton testing him on the blind side, but again, still a good place to turn the ball over. There's only one way really Batley can come out.
This is the 9th Northern Rail Cup final, and the 6th to be staged here at Bloomfield Road. Very much a home for the competition now. More ducking and diving, but going nowhere, and in case there was any doubt, Pickersgill comes in just to finish things off. And Hesketh lost it. And it was Dave Allen, the captain, leading from the front there, involved in the previous tackle, and he was there to make sure that Hesketh came up with the error.
It's superb marker work. He targets the ball, Dave Allen, and just jolts it out of the possession of Hesketh, who, when he's had the ball, has been one of the dangerous players for Batley. But Widnes can sniff it now.
Here is Flynn. He's already scored 1 today. Grady Crucial try scorer in the narrow victory against Dewsbury last week in the championship for the Widnes Vikings. Grady, as he plays the ball on, a fumble by the normally immaculate Kirk Netherton. But the dropsies have even got to the former Hull Kingston Rovers and Cass man there.
No, that's just a straight knock on. He'll be disappointed with that when he goes home and watches it. And again, right in front of that Widnes end, who are very, very loud and really encouraging their players now.
Hanford, still just 3 points separating these two sides into the final quarter of the game. Here is Chris Lythe, and Lythe, it's a good run from him. He's play it, says the referee. Lythe looked at him and kept moving, and that's a penalty.
Was he tackled? Was the tackle complete? Carl Harrison shaking his head. There you can see, right, yeah. Steve Pickersgill takes a quick tap.
And Pickersgill is already up to the Batley 10-metre line. Here is Gannon. Gannon! Driven back. 3 in the tackle. Can they withstand this now? Netherton fancies his chances, but again they're managing to man the barricades of the Batley Bulldogs. Pickersgill. Thackeray change of direction. Chris Gerrard now, and Gerrard away from the first. Gerrard! Over the try line. Underneath the black dot. And Chris Gerrard gets what could be a crucial try for the Widnes Vikings. And the Viking supporters are bouncing away at that northwest end of the stand as Chris Gerrard eventually makes this Widnes Vikings pressure tell. And Batley, taking a hammering on their own try line, just couldn't keep the Vikings out.
And Chris Gerrard scores this Widnes try because of the errors coming away from their own line. It's a shameful life there. He doesn't know the confusion. In that confusion, he gets up and he runs away. And from that possession, Widnes, they go to the right, come back to the left, and Chris Gerrard, with sheer determination and 3 Batley players on him, he bangs that ball down over the line. Steve and Claire O'Connor dare their wish and hope.
Gerrard, a reserve grade grand final winner with the Wigan Warriors last year, and a try scorer in the Northern Rail Cup final that could have tilted the balance of this game in favour of the Widnes Vikings, but we've seen it seesawing back and forth. But now the Bulldogs have really got to show some of that Bulldog spirit. Not that it hasn't been evident already this afternoon, but they need an extra dose of it now.
Well, that was good play by Anthony Thackeray. He looked up and he saw that nothing was on the right-hand side. Passed the ball back to Gerrard, who just run as strong as he can, straight over the top of Tootle to crash over for that try. Widnes seem to be getting this Batley outfit now with a bit of speed.
So that's another hero, Gerrard, on Merseyside then, is it? With that try and that knock-on from Lee Duran, immediately concedes possession to the Batley Bulldogs.
Well, you're going to say, had to complete this set. Ben Kavanagh knocks this ball back. Lee Duran's backing off, he puts his arm out, he just can't bring it in.
It's that same spot.
You could be onto something, Bill. You can see it goes back, just has a little lunge at it, Lee Duran loses it.
Here is Gallagher. Well, an immediate response maybe from the Batley Bulldogs. Gardner is still down. They're playing the ball virtually on top of him. Gardner very groggy indeed. He felt the full force of Tom Gallagher's head. Gallagher just sort of holds the side of his head and wonders what that was. Meanwhile, Matt Gardner's on all fours. Here is Hesketh. This time he keeps a hold of the ball and legs pumping. He's going for the line. Just short. Referee tells him to play the ball. He does. Hanford now. Hanford back inside for Walton. Walton is cleaned out. Monster tackle.
Ball and all from
Ben
Kavanagh.
Kavanagh it was. Here is Hanford. Hanford. He changes direction. Shows it to Lindsay and Tutor's put it down.
Good pressure from Ben Kavanagh on Hanford. Tootle loses the ball. The initial contact from Ben Kavanagh on the line there, you can see he's putting pressure on the Hanford Batley.
What about this?
Look at this now. Boom! Have a bit of that.
But the Widnes Vikings can't rest easy. That is clear. Oh, especially with Grady dropping a clanger like that. First tackle, bringing the ball away from his own try line. And Widnes, having got themselves into this position, 24-15.
Well, that's a couple of mistakes now Shane Grady's made, bringing the ball away. A bit of a marker coming out here. Widnes saying that if you want to go through us, you're going to have to make it good.
The anxiety levels of both teams, it always makes me laugh, this. You've got backs and forwards trying to get in a scrum, and there's pushing and shoving just to the right of that scrum. And again, everybody's anxious. The game is very much still in the balance.
Discipline, boys, discipline.
Referee Robert Hicks, very coolly. Well, that's Jim Cannon, a little flurry of, well, I'm not sure what those were, and what Chris Lythe had done to deserve that. But it's a head and feet in the end to the Batley Bulldogs. Campbell, Brown! Alex Brown for the try line for the Batley Bulldogs. They have not given this one up. And Widnes cannot rest yet. When all this is settled, I'm sure referee Robert Hicks is going to award that try. He does. And Alex Brown gets his 6th try of the season. And we asked for some Bulldog spirits, although those Bulldog supporters did. They have got it in spades from their side. And the Huddersfield Giant player, Jewel Reg, with the Batley Bulldogs, gets the try that keeps them very much alive in this game.
This is a beautiful line from Alex Brown. He's hard and strong, knows exactly where he wants to be. Look at that. The cover defence from Paddy Flynn just isn't good enough. And again, there's still plenty of tension. Still plenty of points, I feel, in this match. It's a line ball from Johnny Campbell. But the points are on the board. Batley back in it.
And if Gareth Moore can keep his 100% goal-kicking record today, which he does, 21-24, just the 3 points. Of course, it goes immediately to golden point if we're level at the end of normal time.
What about the pass from Johnny Campbell to that man Alex Brown, man who scored the try? He's run across the field, attracted Anthony Thackeray to him, and at the precise time passed that ball to the big man who's gone in and scored it.
It's Campbell underneath it, and he's a danger if defences are tiring. He's the man to capitalise on it. Here is Lindsay now. He's a different sort of threat.
Well, Carl Harrison will just be saying, get through this set of 6 and get to the kick. Widnes is struggling to get out of their own area, making a lot of mistakes.
Tutil, and Tutil slips away from the first, and the second, and the third. He's looking for some support. The ankle tap in the end from Netherton brings him down. Campbell gets away from the tackle of Gaskell. Moore, Gallagher ships it on to Brown again. Brown, the ball back in field, keeps it alive. Gallagher can't do so. He does somehow manage to get it back in field. Play on, says the referee.
Well,
Moore has it in the end.
Widnes are desperate to keep Batley out.
Hesketh will play it on the 10-metre line. Hanforth, crossfield kick. Greenwood can't get there, flaps a hand at it, and that will be the turnover.
Well, Widnes were aware that that kick from Hanforth was going to come over and test Dean Gaskell on the wing. Good play, but look at that from Tommy Gallagher.
The encouraging sign for me is the Widnes shirts in the frame. You always want more of your team than your opposition, and for Widnes that was certainly the case. But Batley are pushing, push. There's 9.5 minutes left of this game, and I'm not too sure who's going to win.
Move 10 metres.
The Bulldogs, formerly the Gallant Youths. Well, there's plenty of gallantry out there today in the red and white from West Yorkshire.
Come on, Chris.
And I tell you what, if they do pull this off, it will be one party at the Frontier Club tonight. That's where they're all heading back. Win or lose, not the best kick from Netherton. Hanford has it back. And Hanford, not the pace of old.
Again, just stick the ball into the corner. See Paul Cullen throws the water ball down. Knows exactly where that ball should go.
Widnes still ahead though, 24-21. Back to the Frontier Club in Batley. I wonder if Engelbert Humperdinck's still on.
Well, Widnes starting to stand off this Batley side.
24-21. We've got the closest final since Lee against Hulkingston Rovers in 2006 on our hands at the moment, and there was only 4 points in it at the end of that one. Only 3 points in it at the moment as that ball goes dead.
Ooh, cool. Sean Ainscough then knew exactly there was too much on that ball. Lee Duran brings the ball away. I think Paul Cullen will be looking for his outside backs to get in, just tear the ball at the middle of the park. Simple yardage plays.
2, move, 10 metres, Danny. Hold, go.
Here goes Dean Gaskell then. 3 tackles gone as he's brought down by Hesketh. Netherton gets a good pass away to Ben Davis. Davis brought off the bench for the closing stages of this. He had a big influence in the first half when he came on. Is the young man going to do it again for the Widnes Vikings? They're leading by 24-21, but by no means home and dry. Thackeray puts the kick in. It's clutched out of the air by Ash Lindsay.
Good play by Ash Lindsay. Thackeray's come round the back of the play of the ball. Thought they were short on the right-hand side. Again now, the Batley outside backs. Here's the kick. Straight off Ash Lindsay. Good play by the loose forward.
Well, there was the feeling when Chris Gerrard went over on 65 minutes for the Widnes Vikings that might be it, that the gallant youths might have had their best chance, but not a bit of it. Still very much in this game. That looked a shade forward. Quick play the ball. Moore now, what will he come up with here? Little chip ahead from Gareth Moore. It's a good one, oh, he can't take it, but Flynn can. And Gallagher clutching at his shorts. Gardner's away, he's lost it. The advantage is over. Campbell has it back. Thackeray puts him to ground, 40 metres out.
That's a big call from Robert Hicks. He judged that Widnes had played the advantage and lost the ball, and what's the reaction and the response from this Viking side? Gardner busts away, and a loose carry and loose grip. Criminal.
Danny Morn is down in back play. They've only got 12 men on their feet at the moment. Have the Batley Bulldogs 2-0.
Hold this 10, Lee, wait for the foot.
Coming up to the last 6 minutes here. Lindsay gives it to Byron Smith. Smith offloads to Lythe. Lythe needed to be a good tackle from Flynn. It was. Lindsay's pass. Oh, Walton can't take it. Walton, glory begging him. Harrison knows it. The Batley Bulldogs know it. Jason Walton, try-scorer early on for the Bulldogs, knows it. But the chance is gone.
Both teams can taste the victory. You see Walton done everything right, apart from catch that ball. Ash Lindsay had pulled all the Widnes defenders towards him. Oh, a little smile from Carl Harrison.
If you don't laugh, you cry is the expression that comes to mind.
But again, look where Batley are now.
Stand up, guys. Time's off.
5.5 minutes left in this game. It's got to be a lung-busting 5.5-minute effort from both of these sides. There's a problem now with Ben Kavanagh.
Kavanagh, I think, is it a shoulder problem?
Yeah, it looks like he's got a problem with his left shoulder. Trying to get Mark Smith on.
He's had a big game in defence. Ben Kavanagh come up with a lot of big shots.
So, Batley now. The seconds against them, the minutes against them.
Well, Jason Walton trying to make off for it as Danny Morn leaves the pitch.
It's been a bruising contest, this final. A game worthy of a cup final. Again, fantastic effort from these two sides, played largely with great sportsmanship and spirit, as Thackeray drills the kick in. Now then, Lee Greenwood. Into the last 5 minutes here at Bloomfield Road. And the Widnes Vikings that close to retaining the Northern Rail Cup. But they know that they're up against a Batley side that cannot be written off yet. Davis makes sure that Alex Brown doesn't get to his feet too quickly. Here is Gallagher now. 3 tackles gone. Just inside their own half as Gallagher plays the ball. Byron Smith. 4 gone in this set of 6. The Batley fans feeling that tackle on Byron Smith was high. Hanforth, here is Lindsay now. Lindsay away from Gardner, gets to his feet and plays the ball quickly. Lythe, Hanforth now. Hanforth slides the grubber kick through. Gaskell, oh, coolness from the winger. The ball popping up into his hands after he trapped it. Could have gone anywhere.
Just a little tap up off his right foot. Both of these sets of players are...
He's lost it. Flynn's lost the ball on his own 10-metre line. The Batley fans at that end of the ground are on their feet. Come on, the gallant youths, they're cheering. Here is Tootle. Now it's Widnes' turn to panic. They're on their own try line. Moore, the pass is not a good one. Thackeray is on top of him. They've lost ground. They've lost crucial ground here now. All Widnes have got to do is keep their cool, keep their composure and hold their defensive line, which they're doing at the moment, and that's good work. But Batley are going backwards. Mark Toohey now, upended by Davies. 3 tackles gone in this set of 6. Here's the ball with Gallagher. 4 tackles gone. He's about 5 metres out as he plays that ball. Lythe in front of the posts. Hanforth, Lindsay. Lindsay taking him on his own. Gets the pass away to Smith. Smith juggles it. It's with Campbell. That's the 5th tackle. Good work from Widnes. Keeping their shape, keeping their composure. Little kick from Moore. Chip over the top for Brown. A try in the corner for Alex Brown. His 2nd of the game. But will it be allowed? Coolest person in the ground is the referee, Robert Hicks.
Well, could Alex Brown? At my first glance, I think this is a try.
Is he onside is the first question for the video ref, Richard Silverwood.
If you look at the shading on the grass, I'd say that first question is in the positive. He catches this ball. What a take! Sean Ainscough, the shorter man. Does he grind it? Has he got full control?
That's the answer.
That is an unbelievable try by Alex Brown. He has had a massive influence in this game.
2nd try of the game, surely, for Alex Brown it is. And the Bulldog supporters delirious on that far side of the ground behind those posts, because Carl Harrison's men are back in front. They're not home and dry yet, because Widnes still have time for one last throw of the dice. But Alex Brown, the Huddersfield Giants player, spending this season with the Batley Bulldogs, has given them the chance of glory for the first time in half a century.
The last 5 minutes of this match, Bill, have been breathtaking. All right, there's been a few mistakes, it's been a bit ugly at times, but you can't question the players' commitment. And just look how much it means to the players. On both sides, I still think there could be some more action. It's not dead and buried yet.
Well, he said that this was a bigger thrill than making his Giants debut against Saints last season. It's been a thrill for those of us watching, I can tell you that. And Gareth Moore, can he maintain the 100% goal-kicking record we've seen from both sides this season? So close, but 25-24.
And let's just have a look. Paddy Flynn, who's been a tower of strength all day, he loses that ball. Gareth Moore, pinpoint left foot kick, a superb take, like a salmon he jumped up, and so did Carl Harrison.
The restart comes to Gallagher, and all Batley have got to do now is keep a hold of the ball, because we're into the last minute of the game. The Batley Bulldogs, in their first major final since 1952, when they lost to Huddersfield at Headingley. Their last victory in a major final was back in 1924. The last time they won a big trophy, when they beat Broughton Rangers in Manchester to win the championship. This is their moment of glory. They're only 30 seconds away from it. They're only a point ahead in this game. But that's the 5th tackle. It needs to be a good kick because there is still time for Widnes to get something out of this game. And it was a knock-on, I think, on the line by Flynn. He's down injured, he's down dejected. Carl Harrison, a winner in his playing days. And now, within seconds of being a winner as a coach as well. He won this with Salford back in 2003. And now he is on the brink of winning it with the unlikely Batley Bulldogs. There's his chairman celebrating with him. Kevin Nicholas down on the sidelines just to enjoy the moment. Final scrum of the game, final seconds of the game. And that's going to be a knock-on at that scrum by Batley, by Ashley Lindsay. Head and feed. The hooter is sounded, the whistle blows, and Batley celebrates a moment of history for the club from West Yorkshire. They have done the unlikely and beaten the cup holders here by the narrowest of margins. And not surprisingly for these Bulldog supporters, the emotions are running high. They've come from all over the world to share in this moment. And it's left the Widnes Vikings flat on their backs. They were within minutes of retaining the trophy. And now, with that last final drama involving Alex Brown and the try in the corner, they've seen those dreams cruelly wrecked. But nobody can surely begrudge the Batley Bulldogs their moment of glory. It looked as though Widnes maybe were on their way to success when Chris Gerrard scored for them after 65 minutes to give them a healthy advantage. But there was no way you could write off this Batley side. And as they've done throughout the competition, unbeaten throughout this Northern Rail Cup competition, they have got to the end of the road, or the end of the track, I should say, unbeaten, and now in possession, or very shortly they will be in possession of the Northern Rail Cup, their first trophy since 1952. And the man they have to thank, one of them, one of the 17 heroes for them out there, Alex Brown.
Alex, well done. You were 24-15 behind and suddenly you changed the game completely with 2 tries. You've just become a Batley legend. How do you feel at the moment?
Excited. Oh, I can't even speak. I've been screaming so much. Oh, it's the best feeling ever. Cup final, man at match as well. Oh, I can't even explain.
You scored the 1 try to get you back in it. Just sum up what you were thinking, what was going through your head when the little chip kick went up and you went up for the kick and suddenly the ball was in your hand.
I just thought I had to get to it. I thought I'm going to get to it. I knew I was going to get to it, so jumped up and line was just there, so I just dived over.
How did you keep the belief from being so far behind?
I was screaming football, that's what I was doing. I was just saying, get it out wide, get it out wide. We were getting up middle all the time and we weren't going anywhere. I said, get it out wide, and that's where we scored his tries.
It's an amazing story, isn't it, this club? We're going to talk to Carl in a minute, who's brought you all together, but it's very much local lads. I know you're on the dual reg, aren't you, from Huddersfield, but it's very much local guys, all team spirit, all mates together.
Yeah, we're best at friends at training, we all get along. When we were down, we all pulled together. Like last semi-final, his D was awesome, and it wasn't that good today, but we pulled through and did it together, and I'm sure we'll have an awesome night now too.
Well done, Alex. Let's speak to Carl Harrison. Go on, somehow, how are you feeling?
Oh, what an achievement, you know. I thought Widnes had probably just done enough, but what a great effort by Brownlee to score in the corner. But you know, we've forced mistakes out of Widnes in the last 10 minutes when we were chasing the game. Some great defence, some great shots, and in the end I think we probably just edged it, but it was a great game of football.
And before the game we were chatting and you said, well, whatever will be, I'm totally relaxed, I'm a changed man. You couldn't have been relaxed at the end, could you?
Well, you know me too long. I think that's I've tried to play it down for the boys all week. It's a big occasion for the old town and the club, and I was really pleased for the old 2,000 Batley fans. absolutely fantastic. The chairman's in tears over there. And I was so pleased because the team of English players, all local players, and that's what we're trying to achieve at Batley, and I was so proud for everybody involved. Not myself, they put the body, I'm an old man now, but these young boys, fantastic.
It's a terrific achievement, as you say. There's tears all around this ground, and that must warm the cockles of your heart, doesn't it?
It's a huge thing, you know. They've not won a cup since 1928, I think, and the last final were in 1952, so it's been a long time between drinks, but we'll make it up for it tonight, I'm sure of that.
I'm sure you will. I'm sure it'll be a bit messy in the Batley frontier. Off you go, Carl. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much, guys. Thank you.
Well, absolute delight for Carl Harrison, but dejection for Steve O'Connor on the left of your screen, the chairman and owner of the Widnes Vikings, and of course for Paul Cullen, the coach. They were so near yet so far, but you can take nothing away from the Batley Bulldogs whatsoever. They just kept it going right to the final whistle, and they did force the errors, didn't they, from the Widnes Vikings. And so, well, they were in a cup final in 1952. That was the Yorkshire Cup final. They lost that to Huddersfield. This is the first time they will have lifted a major piece of rugby league silverware since 1924, when they were crowned the champions of the rugby league. What an effort from Batley. What an effort from Carl Harrison and his players. Terry, you'll be disappointed. There were too many errors, frankly, from Widnes.
Yeah, the final 20 minutes, Widnes just couldn't get out of their own area, but the Batley defence was absolutely outstanding. Byron Smith made a couple of errors. Dave Tootle come back onto the park, he had an awful lot of punch up the middle of the park. The big man there. They took the battle to Widnes, and even when they went behind and with 15 minutes to go, they still had that self-belief that they could get the result. And Johnny Campbell, I thought, was immense, and for Alex Brown as well, who got the man of the match on the wing. But there was a lot of players who stood up, and you've got to credit Gareth Moore, Paul Hanforth, both coming back from injury and had a big influence in this game.
Indeed so. I mean, and Barry, you can take nothing away from Carl and Batley. There he is in the thick of the celebrations, and why wouldn't he be? This is a team of local players, a team of British players, a British coach. Now, I believe the championship should all be about locally based players and coaches, but it's not to be at the moment. But absolutely fantastic.
That was a very telling statement from Carl
Thackeray,
Harrison.
though, is man of the match.
Thackeray, man of the match. His kicking game, I thought, was superb. And again, a bounce of a ball and, you know, an error here and there was the difference between these two teams. It was an outstanding game. Really exciting, brutal at times. And those Batley players, it's the biggest occasion of some of those players' careers and lives. And Carl Harrison, who's been there, seen everything, done it, got 1,000 T-shirts to show for it, he was as delighted and as pleased as anybody.
Well, the presentation party's there. It's Bev Risman's first official function as the president of the RFL, and he hands the medals across. Steve Butcher is there, the Chief Operations Officer of Northern Rail. Kevin Nicholas, of course, is there. What a moment it is for him, the chairman for the last 12 years of the Batley Bulldogs. And Steve O'Connor is there as well, the chairman and owner of the Widnes Vikings. Batley, they're not used to occasions like this. There was a little delay. They almost had to pinch themselves, Barry, that they were going up first for the trophy.
They're not too sure what happens, are they? But I'll tell you what they will do. They'll enjoy the Batley Frontier Club. I've been there many times. It's a great place. Fantastic night out. I know John Hill very well, the bloke that runs it, and he'll put a load of free refreshments on for the lads, and my God, I think they deserve it as well. Ash Lindsay normally plays a bigger part, but it was about the team, right as I said at the very start. This is a team that really does function well together. Danny Morney had an injury. Gareth Moore, look at Carl Harrison there, and I'll tell you, he'll be right at the front of the queue when they're handing out the free refreshments.
Yes, it's a marvellous day. You can't really begrudge them, Terry, can you? You cannot.
They were absolutely outstanding in this game, and they have been all year. Tommy Gallagher going in there for his medal, scored 4 tries last week. Then Paul Hanforth, Mick Gobbin collecting his award, but they all really stuck in, and at the end of the day, they played like a team. In the semi-final, they played like a team, and to get that result. And Carl Harrison has won the Northern Rail before when he was the Salford coach, and again he's the winning coach.
Well, here's the skipper, I think, last up, Paul Hanforth, and he's going to receive that Northern Rail trophy. His chairman pushes him towards it, and there they are. The Batley Bulldogs are the winners of the 2010 Northern Rail Cup. Oh, what a waste of all that wonderful champagne.
Well, they started the game strong, didn't they? They went 12-0 up, so they were full of confidence right from the kick-off. They had self-belief that they were going to get the result, and you've got to say Alex Brown to score that try at the end. It was remarkable. It was
well,
a
it was
wonderful
a turning
lead.
point, wasn't it? There was a turning point when Paddy Flynn dropped the ball 10 metres from his own line. I mean, they defended heroically, and then, bump, loose carry.
Well, Tommy Gallagher just dislodges that ball. But again, look at the kick from Gareth Moore.
And what about this jump? Like a salmon, he leaps up, he gets that ball, keeps enough grip on it to bang it down, and look at that, the celebrations. Johnny Gallagher right at the front. Tiger Handforth, he's in it as well, and they will enjoy their night. And Batley, as a rugby league town, Batley and Dewsbury right next door to each other, the heavy woolen area, they are steeped in rugby league history.
It's a marvellous moment for Carl Harrison. He left the Salford City Reds, disappeared off the scene, and now he's come back. And although he also has a proper day job, this is a part-time appointment for him. He was telling me before the match he's absolutely worn out.